October 3rd, 2014, from Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. It was Game 1 of the NLDS as the San Francisco Giants went to Washington to face the Nationals. In this game, we had Jake Peavy going on the mound for San Francisco and Steven Strasburg on the mound for Washington. And Strasburg set down the Giants in order to start off the game in the top of the first. They went 3 up and 3 down. And then in the bottom of the first, Jake Peavy did close to the same. He walked the third batter he saw, Jason Worth, but he got LaRoche out swinging as he faced 4 batters in the top of the first and brought the first inning to a close with the score still 0-0. Then in the top of the second, Strasburg got Pablo Sandoval the line out, and then Pence singled, but he set down both Brandons, Belt, and Crawford as he got out of the inning, striking out Crawford. So then in the bottom of the second, Peavy would get Desmond to ground out and Harper to fly out. And then he walked Ramos, but he struck out Cabrera. And so after 2, it was still 0-0. Then in the top of the third, Strasburg let up a single to lead off the inning to Ishikawa. Peavy then ended up reaching base on the sacrifice fielder's choice as they were both safe. So now Blanco came up and he got out. So then Ishikawa and Peavy ended up moving over on a wild pitch during Panik's at bat, so it was runners on second and third as he had 2 runners in scoring position, and Panik got a single, and Ishikawa scored for the first run on the board for the Giants as it was now 1-0 Giants over Nationals. Buster Posey then hit into a double play, and that brought the top of the third to a close as the Giants picked up a run, the first run of the game. So now in the bottom half of the third, Peavy would set down the Nationals in order as he set down Strasburg, Spahn, and Rendon. And so after 3, it was 1-0 Giants over the Nationals. Then in the top of the fourth, Pablo Sandoval started things off with a single. Hunter Pence then hit into a fielder's choice, and Sandoval was out at second, so Pence was on first, and Brandon Belt came up. Pence stole second, and then Belt hit a single, and Pence came around to score, so it was now 2-0 Giants. Crawford would then single to move Belt over to second, but Ishikawa and Peavy both got out, and the top of the fourth came to a close. But the Giants had picked up another run, and it was now 2-0. So then in the bottom half of the fourth, Peavy set down the Nationals in order once again, as he was lights out in this game. He struck out Worth, and they got LaRoche and Desmond to fly out. And so after 4, it was 2-0 Giants over the Nationals. Then in the top of the fifth, Blanco walked. Then Panik grounded out and moved Blanco over to second. Posey was hit by a pitch. But then Sandoval struck out swinging, so it was 2 out, 2 on for Pence, and he popped out. So that was it for the top of the fifth. Then in the bottom of the fifth, Peavy would end up letting Harper reach on a single, but then he got Ramos on a double play and then got Cabrera out. So he escaped the inning unscathed once again. So after 5, it was 2-0 Giants over the Nationals. Then in the top of the sixth, Brandon Belt started things off with a single. Crawford then singled, so he had 2 on. And that's when Strasburg's day was done as they brought in Blevins to relieve him. He struck out the first batter he saw, Ishikawa. Then he got Peavy and Blanco out, so he set down all 3 batters he saw and got out the inning and stranded both Brandons on base for the Giants. So now in the bottom of the sixth, Jake Peavy came back out, and Schierholtz came in to pinch hit for Blevins. Schierholtz hit a double, so he got a leadoff double. Span then flied out, and so did Rendon. Worth walked, and now Lopez would come in to relieve Peavy. So LaRoche would walk, as Lopez walked the first batter he saw, so now he had the bases juiced. So the bases were loaded, and the Giants went to their bullpen once again as they brought in Strickland. So Strickland came in for Lopez at this point. So the bases are loaded, and Ian Desmond is at the plate, and he struck out. So Strickland came up super clutch as he got out the inning, and after 6, it was still 2-0 Giants, as the Nationals had squandered a great opportunity, leaving the bases loaded and all 3 runners stranded. So in the top of the 7th, Stamen came in to pick for Blevins. He let up a triple to Panik. He got a leadoff triple. Then Posey hit a single that brought Panik in from third. Pablo Sandoval then struck out, and Posey got caught stealing. and then Pence flied out, and that brought the top of the 7th to a close, but not after the Giants had added that 3rd run off of that single from Posey that brought Panik in from 3rd. So it was now 3-0 after 7.5 innings. So now in the bottom of the 7th, Hunter Strickland came back out to pitch after having struck out Desmond with the bases juiced in the last inning. And the first batter he faced in the bottom of the 7th was Bryce Harper, and Bryce Harper took him deep as he hit a home run and put the Nationals on the board in this game, as the score was now 3-1. Ramos then struck out, and up came to bat Cabrera, and Cabrera hit the second home run of the inning for the Nationals, and the score was now 3-2, as Washington had cut the San Francisco Giants' lead to just 1 run. Zimmerman would then come into pinch hit for Stamen, but he flew out, and then the Giants went to their bullpen as they brought in Affeldt to pitch for Strickland, and he got spanned to ground out, and so he got out the inning. So after 7 innings, the score was 3-2 as the Giants had the slight lead over the Nationals. Thornton would come in to pitch in relief of Stamen for the Nationals, and he got Brandon Belt to ground out, and then he got Brandon Crawford up to bat, and Brandon Crawford hit a ground rule double. So now he was on second. Duffy came in to pinch hit for Ishikawa. Duffy ended up getting out, but he moved Crawford over to 3rd. And now Perez would come in to pinch hit for Affeldt, but he lined out, and so they stranded Crawford on 3rd as they did not pick up an extra insurance run. And we were going to the bottom of the 8th, where Sergio Romero would come in to pitch for the Giants. So then Rendon singled to lead off the inning for the Nationals, but Worth would pop out. LaRoche then singled and moved Rendon to second, so now he had 2 runners on, 1 out, and here came Ian Desmond again with runners on, 1 in scoring position, and he struck out for the second straight at bat, as he once again was not able to get anything done with runners on base. And then Bryce Harper came up and he grounded out, and the inning came to a close. So once again the Nationals strand runners, and after 8 the score was 3-2 as we headed to the final inning of this game. So in the top of the 9th, Clippard came in to relieve Thornton for the Nationals, and Blanco reached base on a bunt, and then Panik got out. Blanco would end up stealing second, and Posey would end up flying out, and Sandoval flew out, so Blanco was stranded on second as they did not add an insurance run in the top of the 9th. And so we went to the bottom of the 9th as the Nationals now had only 3 outs left, and they were down by 1 run. And here came Casilla to close things out for the Giants. Ramos would ground out, and then Cabrera flew out. And so now with 2 outs, down by 1, the Nationals would bring in the pinch hitter, Espinosa. Danny Espinosa came in to pinch hit for Clippard, the pitcher. But he got out, and that was the game as Castillo picks up the save. Peavy gets the win, and Strasburg gets the loss. With the final score, Giants 3, Nationals 2. As the Giants take the 1-game lead in the NLDS here in Game 1 on the road. And in this game, for the Giants, Joe Panik was 2 for 5. He had an RBI. Brandon Belt was 2 for 4 with an RBI. Buster Posey was 1 for 4 with an RBI. Those were your 3 RBIs. Brandon Crawford was 3 for 4. He had a double. By the way, Panik had a triple in the game. Of course, he wasn't able to score on that. And then for the Nationals, he had a couple of home runs as both Bryce Harper and Cabrera hit home runs. Those were their only hits of, well, it was only Cabrera's only hit of the game. Bryce Harper was 2 for 4. They each had the only RBIs for the Nationals. Schierholtz had that double. This game was all about pitching, though. As Jake Peavy, he only went 5 2/3, but he didn't let up any runs and only 2 hits. He had 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. And the bench of the Giants did a great job. Lopez, Strickland, Affeldt, Romo, and Casilla. Strickland did let up those 2 runs, but he did come up clutch with that strikeout at Desmond when the bases were juiced. Although he left those 2 home runs in the next inning, but still a great job all around from their bullpen. Strasburg pitched 5 innings, let up 8 hits, 1 earned run. He had 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. So it's not a very good performance from Strasburg. Blevins, Stamen, Thornton, and Clippard did decent jobs in relief. Stamen did let up that run, which definitely did not help. But at the end of the day, it was a close game, and the Giants won it because it was some excellent pitching, some excellent managing, some great defense, just an all-around really good baseball game. And the Giants win this one. The final score once again, 3-2, Giants over the Nationals.